The broadcast you're about to hear is a special sports presentation brought to you by WPEX-FM 90.9.
Hey, take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. 'Cause it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
And welcome everybody to Miller Field. I'm John Hart, and welcome to Dixie Youth Exciting Baseball. And we're going to be having today's contestants are going to be Dunn Construction going up against Eppes Supply. Dunn Construction is going to be up next, and on the mound for the Eppes Supply is going to be Tyler White. Good pitcher from, as we've seen a couple of days ago. Actually, yesterday he pitched too, so he did a very, very good job. The win over Purnell's. Anyway, we're going to get things started in just a few minutes. I'm John Hart. Right now I'm kind of by myself, so everybody just kind of bear in with me, and I'll just kind of call the game as best I can. As everybody's kind of doing their regular warm-ups in the field. Folks, if you tuned in last night on www.wpexonline.com, probably had a very, very nice time, especially with the Rotary going up against the Chamber. And what a game that was. Chamber came up short on that one. Rotary ended up taking them on, and ended up final score. Rotary, I think it was 17. I believe it was 17-4, 17-5, whatever that was. But anyway, that means Rotary in the Dixie Youth Major League here in Blackstone has taken full possession of first place. Well, we're just waiting on the umpire. We got batters that are getting ready up there, so waiting on the umpires to get ready to go. And let's see if we're going to have the start of the game that's getting ready to start here. Well, not yet, and I guess what we'll do is we're going to pause for a quick break, and then we're going to come right back after these words from Radio Shack right here on the Southside Sports Radio Network.
The best stuff ever.
Brought to you by Radio Shack.
I need a new phone, so I'll go to Radio Shack, take their advice, and buy a Sony Ericsson Z750 with AT&T service. It has a 2-megapixel camera, FM radio, and a web browser, so I can surf the internet. And then one day at a car dealership, I'll find the price of a car too high, but the salesman won't agree, and he'll throw me a challenge, and he'll give me the car for free if I find it for cheaper, so I'll use the internet on my phone, find it for cheaper, and get it for free. And I'll owe it all to Radio Shack.
Don't just buy stuff.
Do stuff.
See your local Radio Shack dealer at Southside Electronics, Blackstone Square Shopping Center.
What does your world sound like? That's geography. The music of the world around you. Geography is people, places, environments, and economics. Geography gives us the framework for understanding our world. But sadly, our kids aren't getting enough of it. Half can't locate economic powers like Japan and India, and 20% can't even find the Pacific Ocean. That's why we created MyWonderfulWorld.org. It's part of a free National Geographic-led campaign to give our kids the power of global knowledge. Go to MyWonderfulWorld.org to learn more and get your free parent and teacher action kits. It's a wonderful world.
All right, back here at Miller Field. Here we get things going. Here comes the first pitch from Eppes Supply's Tyler White. He'll be starting today's, and that first one is going to be in there for ball number one. 1 ball and no strikes. The batter is Jay. Of course, we don't have his last name. They usually never give us last names, it seems. But anyway, we'll make out. And that'll be in there for the second ball. 2 balls and no strikes here. Top of the first, getting things going. That came right on down there for strike 1. Now it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Tyler has just been absolutely wonderful on the mound here in the last few games. Everybody's down. Here comes down the pitch, and that's going to be right down the middle. Right number 2, Joe Jackson, by the way, is the umpire today. Joe, I hope you're feeling better. He was feeling underneath the weather, but he's back in the saddle again today. Tyler White now looks. Here comes down the pitch. It's going to be way short, almost into the ground. That'll be in there for ball 3, 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 is the count. So far, Eppes Supply has been undefeated in the minor leagues. They have just done extremely well, especially under the arm of Tyler White. He winds up again. Here's the pitch. Strike number 3, and that will be strikeout number 1 for Tyler White. So the first batter goes striking out. That'll be Tyler White's first strikeout, as I said, and this is Cameron that's up. Tyler now looks. Here comes now the pitch. And that one's right down the middle again. Boy, he's throwing some good pitches right now. No balls and 1 strike. Here comes now the pitch. Here comes the pitch, and that one's going to be in there for ball 1. So that's one. Well, actually, that was a strike. Excuse me. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. So as we get things going here at Miller Field, 0-0. Here comes now the pitch. That's going to be outside, ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That ball thrown back and kind of gets away from Tyler just a little bit, as you all see it. All right, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here comes now the pitch. Here's the windup, and it is going to be outside. That's going to be in there for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're going to miss our color commentary, Robbie Hart. He's on his way to Germany. Here comes now the next pitch, a big swing, and I think he may have got a piece of it, so he's kind of hanging in there. It's 2-2, count will still stand. Again, we have 1 out. 0-0 is the score here at the top of the first. See what Cameron can do. Jay struck out earlier. Here comes the pitch. And that one's going to be outside. As you said, good eye. That probably usually means that's usually a ball. So it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Here comes Tyler now looking. Now winding up and delivering. Swing and a miss. And he fouled off again. And he gets to hang in there. So Cameron is trying to hang in there against Tyler White's great pitching. Dunn Construction and Eppes Supply squaring it off first game. Here comes now the pitch. That was way high, ball 4. And that's going to be walk number 1 for Tyler White. So after striking out this first batter, walks the next one, puts a runner on first base. And this is Dwayne is up for the Dunn Construction. Here comes now the pitch. Swing and a miss. Actually, it wasn't a miss. It was a foul back. And that's going to be in there for strike number 1. No balls and 1 strike.
Brian, I got a drink for Cameron.
Things are kind of quiet here at Miller Field. Kind of a light crowd, but it's the first game. Here comes the pitch. And that one's right in there for strike number 1. And there goes the runner that will, Cameron, he will zip down there to second base. He is safe. So it was Cameron on second base in scoring position. They got 1 out. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here comes now the pitch outside, ball 2. So you can see at the top of your top right hand of your screen, there's Cameron on second base. Here comes now the pitch, and that's going to be outside once again. Cameron takes a big lead off of second base. 3 balls and 1 strike goes to count. And by the way, I just want to say Dwayne batting for Dunn. He's the left-hand hitter. Here comes the next pitch, and that's going to be high, ball 4. Walk number 2. for Tyler White. So, that will bring up JC. It's up. He is also a left-hander. Runners on first and second for Dunn Construction. Here comes now Tyler White with a pitch. Way low. That'll be in there for ball number 1. And as you can see, for some reason we lost our camera that's up there. Anyway, let's go to the pitch. Swing and a miss. And that's going to be in there for strike number 2. So no balls and 2 strikes. And that's a big swing and a miss. Strike number 3. And another strikeout by Tyler White. That'll be number 2 in this game so far.
Come on, Jackson. You can do it, buddy.
And now that's Jackson will be up. Jackson, Jaxon. Here comes the pitch. That's going to be in there for ball 1. They try to get the runner at third base overthrown. And now Cameron is going to go in, and it's 1-0 in favor of Dunn Construction. A costly error there because of thrown to third base. They tried to get him out. Didn't quite get there in time. Unfortunately, that will be in there for ball number 1. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Here comes a windup and delivery. That one's going to be high in there for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. 1-0 in favor of Dunn Construction, though, so far, but Eppes hadn't got up to bat quite yet. We're here at the top of the second. Top of the first. Here comes now the pitch. Way wide again, ball 3. And Tyler might be in danger of walking another runner here, which is very, very usually it's uncommon for him. He's been a very, very good pitcher throughout this year. Tyler now looks, White's up. Here comes the pitch. But that one's no going. You watch that one go by. Also watch it go to another strike. 3 balls and 1 strike. Tyler winds up and he hits his mark, boys. Nobody better in this league than he is. Here he comes winding up again. Pitches. Strike number 2, and that brings the count to full. And like I just said, you can't wait on this guy. This guy can really pitch the ball very accurately. He's done so all year. 3 balls and 2 strikes now. Tyler now White looks, winds up. Here comes the pitch. And this is a foul back. And the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. And our swinging camera's still not working yet, but we'll get that one going in just a few minutes during the commercial breaks. So it's 3 balls and 2 strike, full count. Runners on second base now for Dunn. They lead 1-0. Swing and a miss, and that will be strike number 3. So Tyler gets his 3rd strikeout. He left 1 man on base. So as we go to the bottom of the first, folks, it is 1-0 in favor of Dunn. We'll be right back right after this.
These are not your ordinary doctors. They are the accounting surgeons. Allow them to show you the personal attention it takes in order to receive every single deduction you deserve. The accounting surgeons and crew are here for you all year long, not just January to May. Whether you need tax preparation, payroll work, or bookkeeping services, call the accounting surgeons today. 434-538-0595. They offer very reasonable rates along with their year-round service with a smile. Located at 126 East Carolina Avenue in Crewe. The accounting surgeons are here for you. Phone 434-538-0595.
The best stuff ever.
Brought to you by Radio Shack.
I need a new phone, so I'll go to Radio Shack, take their advice, and buy a Sony Ericsson Z750 with AT&T service. It has a 2-megapixel camera, FM radio, and a web browser, so I can surf the internet. And then one day at a car dealership, I'll find the price of a car too high, but the salesman won't agree, and he'll throw me a challenge and he'll give me the car for free if I find it for cheaper, so I'll use the internet on my phone, find it for cheaper, and get it for free. And I'll owe it all to Radio Shack.
Don't just buy stuff.
Do stuff.
See your local Radio Shack dealer at Southside Electronics, Blackstone Square Shopping Center.
And we're back here at Miller Field at the bottom of the first right now, 1-0 in favor of Dunn Wright Construction. And let's see who's going to be pitching for Dunn Wright. It's going to be DeMorris will be starting pitching for Dunn Wright Construction. And let's see, the first batter that's going to be up will be Ben Atkins. That one's going to go. He's getting ready to get up in just a few minutes. Woo! Kind of do this thing by myself today. And also we got the other camera fixed, as you can see right there. So get a good look at the picture there. Okay, here comes now the pitch to DeMorris. Don't know if that hit him or not. It come awful close though. That was way inside. And that'll be ball number 1. Yep, he didn't hit him. He was able to dodge it. So we got 1 ball and no strikes. Here comes now the pitch. Here comes the windup and the throw. And that one's right in there for strike number 1. So that'll be 1-1 as a count. So DeMar's coming out pitching the ball anyway. Here comes now the pitch. Wind up delivery, swing and a miss. He kind of chopped at that one, as you can see, a little bit high. Now be in there for strike number 2, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Downey will be on deck. Here comes now the windup. Here comes now the pitch. And that one's in there, strike number 3. And that'll be strikeout number 1 for Delmars. Coming up next is Downey. And then Tyler Borum will be upright. So let's see what Downey can do. No runners on board with 1 out. Here comes now the pitch from Dunn Wright, high in there for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Dunn Wright's kind of hanging on to a 1-0 lead, which is just minute in this league. Here comes now the next pitch. And that one kind of floated. That one looks almost like a changeup of some sort. Now be 2 balls and 1 strike with 1 out. Don't forget later on the second game of our doubleheader, the Lions, and a hard hit ball, and that is going to be into the outfield. Okay, the runner will try to go to second base. He will overthrow him, and it gets through the first baseman. Downey falls and gets back up and stops at third base. That ball went sky high and just kind of dropped in the hole. Then they threw it to second base, the cutoff man. At any rate, ended up being that they threw it to the cutoff man. It got through everybody. Here comes now the pitch. This one's going to be foul back. And the catcher actually catches that for the second out. How about that? So Tyler White is up. And everybody's going to back up. And here comes the pitch. 2 outs now, way high, ball number 1. Runner on third base. As you can see in this picture, you can see right there. There's a run. Well, actually, the runner's right there. Anyway, 1 ball and no strikes. All right, here comes the pitch now. Wind up and delivery. That one's going to be inside, being there for ball number 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Here at the bottom of the first here at Miller Field. 1-0 here. So far, it's a good game. The pitcher's going to stop and tie his shoe. There's his shoe right there, as you all can see it. All right. All right, here comes now. Here comes the windup. Takes aim. Swing and a miss. It's in there for strike 1. So that's 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs. Eppes Supply is always dangerous, especially when you have this man up right now, Tyler White. He can really hit the ball. So So the ball is two balls and 1 strike with 2 outs. Here comes now the pitch. That one's going to be high for ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. Thanks for tuning in on www.wpexonline.com and the Southside Sports Network. Glad y'all tuned in. Just starting out, first game of the doubleheader, and boy, now the other shoe of the pitcher comes loose for Dunn right. DeMars got down. We'll show you. Maybe really you probably can't see it, but he's got these great big laces on there. All right, here comes now the pitch, and this was a hard hit ball, and it goes right to the third baseman. Run will score. Now it's going to be 2-0, and the third baseman is pretty hard hit. He couldn't pick it up in time to throw it, so he just throws it back to the pitcher. So with 2 outs, they got runner on first base, but the run will score. It's 2-0 in favor of, well, actually 1-1, tied up. Here comes now the pitch, and that one's going to be in there for strike number 1. Wow, we got a tree that's kind of blowing in front of our camera back there. Woo! See that? Oh, boy. A little wind must be kicking up. Here comes now the next pitch. And that one's going to be in there for ball number 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. So 1-1 is now the score. 1-1 is the count. 1-1 is the score. Dunn right and Eppes Supply going at it with 2 outs. Here comes the pitch. And that one's going to be in there for another ball. 2 balls and no strikes. And there's a big gust of wind again. There comes the tree branch just kind of blocking everybody. Here comes down the next pitch. That one's going to be in there for another strike. And that brings the count 2-2 with 2 outs. So DeMar looks for Dunright. He's got runners on first base. Here comes the pitch. This one's going to be ball number 3. Runner will go down to second base. And that'll be full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So, here comes the pitch. Important pitch here. Here comes a 1. And this one's going to be ball number 4. He drops the bat and walks towards first base. And that will be walk number 2 for DeMars. And that puts the runner on first base. So now we got runners on first and seconds for Eppes Supply. Here comes now the pitch. That was going to be in there for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Nice day here at Miller Field. About 80 degrees out there right now, and it's just absolutely beautiful day. Here comes the next pitch. Beautiful day for baseball. Anyway, I see the second baseman will come back and kind of get right behind the batter there. So runners on first and second. Here comes the windup. Here comes now the pitch. And that one's going to be in there for ball number 3. And DeMars is getting ready to end up walking another runner. That's what you don't want to do. That will load up the bases. DeMars looks. With those big laces on his shoe now, winds up. Here comes now the pitch. And that one's going to be in there. Strike 1. 3 balls and 1 strike. And Jenny and Heather are on. That means we're going to have better picture shots now. Jenny, you might want to make sure I started that thing okay. Here comes down the pitch. Here comes the windup. And that's in there for Steve Wright, too. And that brings everything to full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Very important out coming up here. DeMars would like to get out of this jam that he's in. Here comes down the pitch. And that one's going to be high, ball 4, and that will walk a run in. So, let's see. They came up. I thought that was a walk. I I thought that was a walked run in. I guess they wanted to run on third base. Just runners on first and second. Oh, okay, with that, now its bases are loaded with 2 outs. Important run here. Here comes down the pitch. And delivery. That's going to be low, ball 1. Here comes a runner. He's threatening to come in. And the runner and the catcher will actually run the player back. Nevertheless, it'll be ball 1. And I believe Michaela Eppes is up. She's the only girl that's playing in the minor league here at Dixie Youth Baseball. She can do pretty good if she gets a hold of one. We've seen her do it in the past. Bases are loaded. Here comes now the pitch way high. She was going to go after it, but she said, no, I'm not going to do that. And now bring the count 2 balls and no strikes. So sometimes you want to go after those, and then you change your mind. That was a good choice. Anyway, here comes the pitch. And that one's going to be low, ball 3. And here comes a runner in. It's going to be close. He's safe. He slid in underneath, and he is safe. And now Eppes Supply will go up 2-0. So runners now on second and third here at Miller Field. Here comes now the pitch from DeMars. Dunn leading 2-1 here at the bottom of the second. Oh, that one went way up in the air. That'll be ball 3. Well, actually, ball 4 to Michaela. So Michaela is on. And that is going to bring up Hunter Russell. If my thing is correct, my lineups are correct. But at any rate, here comes the coach out there to talk to DeMars and see what's going on, and see if it's either his arm hurting him or maybe he's just not, if everything is okay, or sometimes the pitcher and the catcher has to get in line. That's what usually I tell my pitchers, catchers, hey, make sure that y'all are talking to each other and y'all giving each other good targets. Here comes now the pitch to Hunter with bases loaded. Swing and a miss. It's in there for strike number 1. No balls and 1 strike now to Hunter. Worley's going to be on deck. So here comes Downey, goes back. Now looks, winds up with base loaded. Here's the pitch, and this one's going to be foul back. That'll be strike number 2. No balls and 2 strikes. I'm sorry, I say Downey. DeMars is actually pitching. So we're looking at one with no balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. It's 2-0 in favor of Dunn in favor of Eppes Supply. Here comes now the pitch. That's going to be in there for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kind of recapping everything, Dunn got out to a 1-0 lead and right there at the top of the first, but Eppes Supply came roaring back and was able to take advantage of some walks and then some hit by Tyler White, and by the time they did all that, it ended up scoring 2, so it's 2-1 right now. Swing and a miss, strike number 3 now retired aside. So we got 3 walks. They got actually 1 hit, but they got 3 men left on base. So as we go down to the top of the second, right now it's 2-0 in favor of Dunn, 2-1 in favor of Dunn Construction. We'll be back right after this.
These are not your ordinary doctors. They are the accounting surgeons. Allow them to show you the personal attention it takes in order to receive every single deduction you deserve. The accounting surgeons and crew are here for you all year long, not just January to May. Whether you need tax preparation, payroll work, or bookkeeping services, call the accounting surgeons today. 434-538-0595. They offer very reasonable rates along with their year-round service with a smile. Located at 126 East Carolina Avenue in Crewe. The accounting surgeons are here for you. Phone 434-538-0595.
The best stuff ever.
Brought to you by Radio Shack.
I need a new phone, so I'll go to Radio Shack, take their advice, and buy a Sony Ericsson Z750 with AT&T service. It has a 2-megapixel camera, FM radio, and a web browser, so I can surf the internet. And then one day at a car dealership, I'll find the price of a car too high, but the salesman won't agree, and he'll throw me a challenge and he'll give me the car for free if I find it for cheaper, so I'll use the internet on my phone, find it for cheaper, and get it for free. And I'll owe it all to Radio Shack.
Don't just buy stuff.
Do stuff.
See your local Radio Shack dealer at Southside Electronics, Blackstone Square Shopping Center.
And we're back here at Miller Field as we are resuming action. It's 2-1 in favor of Eppes Supply here at the top of the second. First game of our doubleheader, we got the Chamber going up against the Lions that'll be coming up next. And they're going to be fighting for second place. All right, Tyler White still in his pitching. Here comes now the pitch. He winds up and lets it loose. Swing and a miss, strike number one. So with that, Tyler continued his way of pitching. That one's going to be high, though, and I'll bring the count 1-1 strikes. It's 1-1. Now here comes out the pitch. And that's going to be way inside for ball number 2. 2 strikes. No runners on right now because we're just getting started at the top of the second. That one's way in the dirt. That just got away from him, and that's 3 strike. Actually, they got 2 strike up there, but I thought it was 3. Now 3. Thought it was 3. Anyway, here comes now the pitch, and that one's going to be hard hit. Foul ball went right over the visitor's press box. Not press box, but dugout. And that's going to be in there for strike number 2. Brings the count to full. Tyler White now in the stretch position. Now looks at Ames. He fires it. And this one's going to be a high fly. Tyler White calls it. And the sun got into his eyes, and he misjudged it and missed it. And the runner will get on base. Matter of fact, we're going to mark that one down as a base hit because that sun got right at 12 o'clock noon. Sun got right in his eyes, and he did not even hardly see it. Lost. That ball went sky high, and that means that runners with no outs for Dunn is on first base. Here comes now the pitch. Foul back, and the runner's going to run down to second base, and he slides in a cloud of dust, and he'll have to come all the way back because it's a foul ball. And there he comes. What can you say, right? So all that means no balls in 1 strike. Here comes down the pitch. Hard hit ball this time to the second baseman. This could be a double play. It's going to be. And they got him safe. Oh, that was ever so close. That was almost the first double play here in the minors, man. And here comes, wait a minute. Here comes Joe Jackson up talking to him. I don't know what he's talking to him about, but hard hit ball to the shortstop, actually. He made a beautiful throw to the second baseman, was able to turn that around and almost got that batter out. That had been 2 outs up there. We got 1 out. So 1 out is up. And let's see who is up now. Let's see. I think that is either Hunter Morgan. Well, we'll see. Anyway, that one's going to be high. There goes the runner zooming down to second base. He will slide in. He likes to slide. He'll be in no problem. And I believe this is might be Dawson. Anyway, first pitch is in there for ball 1. 1 ball. Oh, actually, it's 1 ball and 1 strike. And they got 1 out. It's 2-1. And now, with 1 out, runners for Dunn is in a good position to score. But that second strike that Tyler White just threw, that'll be in there for strike number 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here comes now the pitch. That's a little bit inside. That'll be a ball. And now to get him in a pickle, they might be able to get this guy out. Here he comes in a pickle. He is safe at second, and that was a close one. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Umpiring is Joe Jackson behind the plate. And he was there right on the scene, but runner on second was almost caught. That one's in there for strike number 3. Yep, that's strike number 3, and that'll be the second out. So Eppes Supply, Tyler White, trying to get out without scoring. That second important out is up. And let's see what this guy can do. I think Amande is up. Yep. Here comes the pitch. That's going to be in there for ball 1. He's a short fella and hard to get a hold of, I guess you might say. The strike zone gets awful small when you get that small. Wind up, here comes the pitch. And that one's going to be in there for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Like to get this guy out if you can. That way you don't have to face the Dunwright's top of the lineup. In there, and that be in there for strike number 1. 2 balls and 1 strike, and Tyler's throwing a good game. 2-1, Eppes Supply leading. A swing and a miss. That's going to be in there for strike number 2, and the count goes 2-2. So one more, and they could retire the side because they got 2 outs. And Eppes Supply would like to go to bat with a 2-1 lead. Wind up, here comes down the pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, now retire the side. So we had a couple of hits there, and we got 2 men left on base. So as we go now to the bottom of the second, it's 2-1 in favor of Eppes Supply over Dunwright. We're going to be right back right after these messages.
These are not your ordinary doctors. They are the accounting surgeons. Allow them to show you the personal attention it takes in order to receive every single deduction you deserve. The accounting surgeons and crew are here for you all year long, not just January to May. Whether you need tax preparation, payroll work, or bookkeeping services, call the accounting surgeons today. 434-538-0595. They offer very reasonable rates along with their year-round service with a smile. Located at 126 East Carolina Avenue in Crewe. The accounting surgeons are here for you. Phone 434-538-0595.
The best stuff ever.
Brought to you by Radio Shack.
I need a new phone, so I'll go to Radio Shack, take their advice, and buy a Sony Ericsson Z750 with AT&T service. It has a 2-megapixel camera, FM radio, and a web browser, so I can surf the internet. And then one day at a car dealership, I'll find the price of a car too high, but the salesman won't agree, and he'll throw me a challenge, and he'll give me the car for free if I find it for cheaper, so I'll use the internet on my phone, find it for cheaper, and get it for free. And I'll owe it all to Radio Shack.
Don't just buy stuff.
Do stuff.
See your local Radio Shack dealer at Southside Electronics, Blackstone Square Shopping Center.
All right, back here at Miller Field right now, it's 2-1, and that is in favor of Eppes Supply over Dunwright. And I think DeMars will now go in and tie his shoe once again. So DeMars is going to remain in as pitching for Dunwright Construction. And I believe, not sure who's batting. Any rate, no balls, and the first one in there for strike 1. So got no balls and 1 strike. Here comes down the pitch. Swing and a miss. It's in there for strike number 2. No balls and 2 strikes. Usually these games don't go past the 3rd inning, but depending on the time frame here, this could go all the way to 6 if it's this close. That one's going to be high for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Make it man first.
So anyway, 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Here comes down the pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes now, and 2-1. And I think he got out, and it's out number 1. He did, struck out. Sorry about that, folks. I had a phone ringing. I had to try to pick it up. All right, here comes down the pitch. That one's going to be fall up short, and now be in there for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So with 1 ball and no strikes with 1 out. All right, here comes down the pitch. I'll be in there for ball number 2. 2 balls and no strikes. So 2 balls and 1 strike with 1 out. Tyler now looks. DeMar now looks, winds up, shoots that one down there for ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. So 3-0 is the count with 1 out. Here comes down the wind up. Here comes down the pitch. And now be in there for strike number 1. 3 balls and 1 strike with 1 out.
Stay in there, William. Don't back out. Be ready.
So, DeMars keeps on hanging in there for Dunn Construction. Here comes down the pitch. This one's going to be way low, though, and that will walk the runner, and they'll put a runner on first base.
Hey, can you put your team with
So now the next batter will come up. They got 1 out, but then now they got a runner on first base. Eppes Supply does. And they got a 2-1 lead now over Dunn Construction. DeMar's now look. Here comes down the pitch. Way high. That's going to be in there for ball number 1. So 1 ball and no strikes. Now the scoreboard's trying to reset them. There you go. Now they got it right finally. So 1-0 is the count. Here comes down the pitch. And that one's almost hit. He was able to get out of the way just in time. That'll be in there for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Runner on second base. DeMar's now look for Dunn Construction. He's on the mound. Here comes down the pitch. He winds up and throws it way short. Ball number 3. And he's in danger of walking another runner. One of the things that Dunn don't want to do is start loading up these bases. And now here comes the catcher. He's going to come out. And they will kind of chat a little bit right out there at the mound. Seeing what they can get together on some things, especially that. And there goes DeMar's down for the 3rd time of this game. He's tying his shoes. Problem is with his shoes, if you look at his laces, they're about 2 feet long. It seems to be draping off his shoes, and every time he goes to pitches the ball and winds up, he steps on one of the laces and unties the daggone knot. Here comes now the pitch. They'll be in there for ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. Oh, excuse me. 4 balls, and that will be base on balls. So I miscounted. The runner's on first and second. And now that brings up another player, and then Dunn getting ready to, Eppes Supply's getting ready to add up more runs on these things. Here comes the pitch. This one is going to be in there for ball number 1. Yep. So DeMar has walked 2 of them so far and put 2 runners on base. DeMar looks now for Dunn. Winds up. Here comes down the pitch. And that was going to be way inside and high. It's going to be in there for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. So 2 balls and no strikes and 1 out. Here comes now the pitch. Now he's winding up looking. Now here comes now the pitch. And that one's going to be a little bit low, ball 3. And DeMar's going to be walking this one. This is kind of turned into a walkathon. So 3 balls and no strikes. And Eppes Supply is in good shape of starting to adding on to this 2-1 lead. DeMar's looks now. He winds up. Here comes the pitch. Hard hit ball to the second baseman. He tags the guy out at first, tries to throw it to first base and overthrows him. Kind of underhands toss, but runner will stay at second base. He gets that second important out. But one run will score, and that'll make it 3-1. Oh, well. That happens. Okay. 3-1 now with a Eppes Supply lead over Dunn. Runner on first base. That ball was kind of chopped and hit right to the second baseman. He tried to tag the runner, and then once he got him out, he tried to do this little flip underhanded play. He was off balance when he threw it. Hard hit ball, and that ball's going to go all the way to the fence. What a hit by number 8. Here comes down the pitch, and the runner, they're going to send the runner in. He will score, and they're going to hold for a triple. What a nice little hit ball by number 8, and that was Evan Downey, and that brings up Tyler Borum will be up to bat. And what a nice little pitch, a play by him. He hit that ball some kind of hard for a minor leaguer. That thing rolled all the way to the fence. Here comes down the pitch. And this one's going to be hit, and they're going to try to get it, and almost got it. And they're going to call that a base hit. So Tyler, that's going to be a foul ball. It was out of play. So that thing's out of play, and that ended up being in there for strike number 1. Here comes now the pitch. Now comes the windup. And a hard hit ball. And that one is going to go foul. And that's just a little bit over, and that would have been a tough one. Tyler Barham can hit the ball, and then it doesn't get any better for for DeMars, because then that Tyler White's going to be following. He's on deck. No balls and 2 strikes. Here comes now the pitch. DeMars looking right down. Here's winding up. Here comes the pitch. And that's going to be in there for strike number 2. All right, ball number 1, I'm sorry. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I thought that going to drop in there for the third and final out, but it didn't. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tyler Borum, a good hitter. Runners on third base. Here comes out the pitch, and that's way low, and that'll bring up ball number 2. Runner threatening to come in on third base. And that's Evan Downey on third base for Eppes Supply. Took a nice little leg, but he went back after the lead. 2-2 is the count with 2 outs. That buzzing noise is somebody's weed eater back there. Here comes down the pitch to wind up, and that's going to be in there for ball number 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. Or 2 strikes, rather. And, of course, the old proverbial full count. So we got full count coming up. Dunn leading right now 4-1 as they extend their lead. DeMars now looks. Now winds up. Here comes the pitch. And that's going to walk the runner, and that brings up Tyler White is going to be up. So he's up right now, and he'll be up there with runners on first and third, and with 2 outs. You might see the runner Tyler going down. He's fast, so he'll probably go on down on this pitch. Here comes down the pitch. Hard hit ball, and that will be foul, so everybody will have to go back where they're at. And that'll be strike number 1. So no balls and 1 strike. Here comes now the pitch. And a hard hit ball to left center, actually. This one's going to go, a left fielder will almost get it. And 1 run will score. That'll be 5 And they're going to try to throw the ball in. It's going to be close. And he is safe. And now it is 6-1. And nice hit by Tyler White. And he will turn that into a triple. But he nailed that one. And the center fielder was the only person that kept that thing from going all the way to the fence. Dunn Wright finds himself down 6-1. Swing and a miss now. Being there for strike one, and this will be I can't even pronounce his name. Monte, I guess. Yeah, Monte. So with runners still on third base, it's 6-1. Here comes now the windup. And that's going to be in there for strike number 2. Eppes Supply's bats have come alive here as we're here at the bottom of the second. Boy, oh boy, have they ever. Well, nevertheless, we're still looking at no balls and 2 strikes. Here comes down the pitch. That one's going to be high. Being there for ball number 1, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runners on third base right now for Eppes Supply. That's the lonely Tyler White right now, which got that triple just a while ago. That was a hard hit ball. So one thing that one of these here comes down the pitch. This one's going to be low. And that'll be in there for strike ball number 2. 2-2 now is the count with 2 outs. And it looks like to me that the pitcher, Dunn Wright, may have to tie his shoes once again. Here comes now the pitch. The wind up. And he looks. And he runs. And that's going to be in there for ball number 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So 3 balls and 2 strikes now. The count goes full. Here at Miller Field. And welcome, I'm John Hart, along with the WPX Crew, Southside Sports Radio Network. Full count, important pitch coming up here. This one's way high, ball 4, and that's going to put a runner on third base. So runners on third base, runners on first base now. And here comes down the pitch. I imagine the runner's going to go on down to second base probably right after this pitch. Now, Eppes Supply's taking a commanding lead. There goes the runner. He just sails right on down there with no problem. And I think that's Hunter Morgan, I believe, is up. And Caleb Elvis will be on deck. Runners on second and third. Here comes out the pitch. And that's going in there for strike number 2. So no balls and 2 strikes here in the second inning. And Eppes Supply is leading over Dunn Wright 6-1. Here comes down the pitch. Wind up. Swing and a miss, strike 3, now retired aside. So, had a bunch of runs and a couple of very, very good hits. So, as we go now to I think it's going to be the top of the third, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, it's right now it is 6-1. We'll be right back right after these messages.
These are not your ordinary doctors. They are the accounting surgeons. Allow them to show you the personal attention it takes in order to receive every single deduction you deserve. The accounting surgeons and crew are here for you all year long, not just January to May. Whether you need tax preparation, payroll work, or bookkeeping services, call the accounting surgeons today. 434-538-0595. They offer very reasonable rates along with their year-round service with a smile. Located at 126 East Carolina Avenue in Crewe. The accounting surgeons are here for you. Phone 434-538-0595.
The best stuff ever.
Brought to you by Radio Shack.
I need a new phone, so I'll go to Radio Shack, take their advice, and buy a Sony Ericsson Z750 with AT&T service. It has a 2-megapixel camera, FM radio, and a web browser, so I can surf the internet. And then one day at a car dealership, I'll find the price of a car too high, but the salesman won't agree, and he'll throw me a challenge and he'll give me the car for free if I find it for cheaper, so I'll use the internet on my phone, find it for cheaper, and get it for free. And I'll owe it all to Radio Shack.
Don't just buy stuff.
Do stuff.
See your local Radio Shack dealer at Southside Electronics, Blackstone Square Shopping Center.
Back here at Miller Field, I'm John Hart calling the play-by-play for you today. And let's see who is going to be up for Dunn Construction. Tyler White is now going into his third inning. And I didn't really know that he had that many innings left, and apparently he does. So let's see how Tyler White can do. Here comes now the pitch. And that one's going to be in there, the first one for ball number 1. It's 1 ball and no strikes. And Tyree is up. And Raymond will be up next right after Tyree. Just have first names only here. So we got a 1-1 count. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here comes now Tyler. Now winds up. Here comes now the pitch. And that one's in there for strike number 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So with a 1-2 count, here comes down the next pitch. That's in there for ball 2. 2-2 now is the count. So with a 2-2 count, here comes down Tyler White. Winding up, pitch. Tyree swings at it. Now be strikeout number 1. Now be out number 1. Now bring up Raymond, and then they'll come back to Jay, which will be top of the batting order. So, here comes Tyler White, winds up. Here comes now the pitch. That one's going to be actually kind of low at the knees in there for ball number 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Next pitch. Here comes down the next pitch. Way high. That'll be in there for ball 2. Very unusual for Tyler White to be able to be throwing this many balls here. And that one's going to be wide. That's going to be wide outside. Ball number 3. 3 balls and no strikes. Dunn needs to get some runners on the base some way, somehow. They find themselves down 6-1 here in the 3rd inning. Here comes down the pitch. That's going to be high, and that'll be a base on balls. So, runner will be on first base for Dunn Construction. So Tyler comes back up to the mound, and he looks, and that is going to bring up the top of the lineup. Jay is up, and that see what's going to happen. Runner on first base now for Dunn Construction. Here at the top of the 3rd. Here comes now the pitch and a hard hit ball, and that thing remains foul. And runner will go to second, but boy, Jay should have been running on that one, and he just kind of looked at it, and unfortunately, Tyler White just picked it up and tagged the base, and that was it. That brings up the second out. And that will bring up, let's see, Dwayne will be coming up. He is pitching for Dunn today. He must be catching it. I think they changed the lineup around. That's not Dwayne, actually. Looks more like Cameron. Well, anyway, we'll see. Here comes now the pitch. And that's going to be in there for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Tyler White kind of zipped that one down there, though, pretty good. Here comes now the pitch. That one's going to be in there for ball number 2. 2 balls and 1 and no strikes. Runners on first and runners on second base now for Dunn. Here comes that pitch. And that's going to be ball number 3. And I guess right now Tyler White is having a little bit of trouble threading those needles. Here comes now the pitch outside once again, ball 4, and that will be a base on balls. So now that brings up Dwayne. Runners on first and second for Dunn. This pitch is going to be high to Dwayne. That's in there for ball number 1. JC will be on deck, according to my schedule here. 1 ball and no strikes. They got 2 outs, though. And this one's going to be in there for strike number 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 now is the count. There's 2 outs. And this one's going to be a foul back right up against the backstop. So it brings up one ball and 2 strikes. One ball and 2 strikes. And here comes now the pitch. That's going to be in there for strike number 3 to retire the side. So we got 2 men left on, and we're going to be right back right here on the Southside Sports Radio Network. It's 6-1 in favor of Dunn.
The best stuff ever.
Brought to you by Radio Shack.
I need a new phone, so I'll go to Radio Shack, take their advice, and buy a Sony Ericsson Z750 with AT&T service. It has a 2-megapixel camera, FM radio, and a web browser, so I can surf the internet. And then one day at a car dealership, I'll find the price of a car too high, but the salesman won't agree, and he'll throw me a challenge, and he'll give me the car for free if I find it for cheaper, so I'll use the internet on my phone, find it for cheaper, and get it for free. And I'll owe it all to Radio Shack.
Don't just buy stuff.
Do stuff.
See your local Radio Shack dealer at Southside Electronics, Blackstone Square Shopping Center.
These are not your ordinary doctors. They are the accounting surgeons. Allow them to show you the personal attention it takes in order to receive every single deduction you deserve. The accounting surgeons and crew are here for you all year long, not just January to May. Whether you need tax preparation, payroll work, or bookkeeping services, call the accounting surgeons today. 434-538-0595. They offer very reasonable rates along with their year-round service with a smile. Located at 126 East Carolina Avenue in Crewe. The accounting surgeons are here for you. Phone 434-538-0595.
Back here at Miller Field, I'm John Hart, along with the rest of the South Sports Radio Network. A beautiful day for baseball, as we say. Right now, Eppes Supply is taking a commanding lead over Dunn Construction. It's 6-1. Coming up next for her will be Michaela Elvis. See what she can do. And she'll be the first batter up and see how she can add on to some more of this nice Eppes Supply. Eppes Supply, by the way, they are right now undefeated, basically. So they have a commanding lead over first base, to say the least. Here comes the pitch. That's going to be, that's just, they're not pitching yet. That's just going to be a throw down. Take it on down. DeMars is staying in for pitching for Dunn Construction. Okay, here we go now. See what McCaleb could do. So here comes now the pitch. Here comes now the windup. And it's going to be in there for, that's going to be a little bit low. They'll be in there for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. 6-1 lead. Morris now looks and takes aim. Here comes now the pitch. And kind of loops that one down, kind of a slow pitch. And that was going to be in there for a strike. McCaleb took a shot at it. She got a little piece of it. And now bring the count 1 ball and 1 strike.
Hi, McCaleb, way to swing.
Got to be careful with her. They think, well, she's a girl. She can't hit. Well, nothing can be further from the truth. Here comes now the windup. And that one's a little bit high. Caleb shouldn't have gone after that one. Now being there for strike number 2, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And guess what? DeMar is down there tying his shoe again, folks. As you can see right there. Look. Reason why is because he's got some big shoelaces. They're almost draping down. Okay, here comes down the next pitch. And that one's going to be a swing and a miss. And McCaleb's going to strike out. And that's going to bring up, I believe it's Hunter Russell. Let's see what Hunter Russell can do. He's a lefty. Here comes the pitch. Wind up. And it's a hard hit ball. Out of play, foul ball. That ball was pretty well hit. No balls and 1 strike with 1 out. 6-1. This is our first of our double hitter. Chamber and the Lions are going to go at it in a cage match. No, the grudge cage. I'm just kidding. No.
Now you want to hit it again.
Oh, boy. Getting too much WWF in there. Okay, we're going to leave that alone. 1 ball, no balls and 1 strike now. Goes to Hunter. Here comes DeMars. Now looks, winds up and pitches. And did he break the plane? Oh, yes, he did. They called it a strike. Well, he came close. And my angle here looked like he broke the plane, and he did. Joe Jackson, the umpire, calling that one. Here comes now the pitch. That one's going to be way low for ball 1. So Hunter Russell would like to get on base, too. They got 1 out, though, and no runners on board. It's 6-1. Dunrice played a pretty good, excellent game other than maybe 1 or 2 innings. Otherwise, everything's been going along pretty good. DeMars now looks. Here comes now the pitch. This one's going to be way outside, and that's going to bring the count 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. They got 1 out with a 6-1. Dunright finds himself down 6-1. Up Supply is the one that's batting. And now, guess what happens? Here he is, tying his shoe again. I don't know if y'all can see my little arrow right there or not. But I'm telling you, that's why I can see the shadows. Got such long strings, I can even see the shadows on the pitcher's mound.
You ready, Coach?
Okay, 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike number 3.
Hey, Nick.
And
Get mad, let's hit that ball.
it looks to me like that will be strikeout number 2. And that will bring up Nick Worley is up. See what Nick can do. So here comes DeMars winding up. That one's going to be in there for ball number 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Robbie Hart is not with me today, my son. Also my color commentary. He's on the flight to Germany right now. Probably just took off. So wish him the best of, he's going to be spending 2 weeks in Germany for Siemens Medical, which is his main job. That one's going to be there for ball 2 to Worley. So Worley's ahead of the pitcher right now. 2 balls and no strikes. But we do miss Robbie. If you notice, we miss all the stats, and the things are a little bit different here on the video too, but we're going to try to do as best we can without him. Here comes now DeMars now with the pitch. Way outside. Boy, that was way outside. And there for ball 1. Ball 3, rather. 3 balls and no strikes. 6-1 now is the score. And here comes now the pitch. And that one's going to be strike number 1. So that brings 3-1 is now the count with 2 outs. And let's see, William Foster, he will be coming up on deck. Now here comes DeMaris. He looks, now takes his wind up, steps back and throws. Comes up short, and he will walk. Now that'll put a runner for Eppes Supply on first base. And there goes the manager out to talk right now to Mr. DeMaris. And let's see what they're going to do. One of the things they want to be careful and not get into a walkathon here. They find themselves down already 6-1. And let's see if they're going to pull him out. And it looks like they're going to switch out. They're going to do some switching out. So we're going to switch to a commercial break real quick. And we're going to be right back right after these messages. This is the Southside Sports Radio Network. We'll be right back right after this.
The best stuff ever.
Brought to you by Radio Shack.
I need a new phone, so I'll go to Radio Shack, take their advice, and buy a Sony Ericsson Z750 with AT&T service. It has a 2-megapixel camera, FM radio, and a web browser, so I can surf the internet. And then one day at a car dealership, I'll find the price of a car too high, but the salesman won't agree, and he'll throw me a challenge and he'll give me the car for free if I find it for cheaper, so I'll use the internet on my phone, find it for cheaper, and get it for free. And I'll owe it all to Radio Shack.
Don't just buy stuff.
Do stuff.
See your local Radio Shack dealer at Southside Electronics, Blackstone Square Shopping Center.
What does your world sound like? That's geography. The music of the world around you. Geography is people, places, environments, and economics. Geography gives us the framework for understanding our world. But sadly, our kids aren't getting enough of it. Half can't locate economic powers like Japan and India, and 20% can't even find the Pacific Ocean. That's why we created MyWonderfulWorld.org. It's part of a free National Geographic-led campaign to give our kids the power of global knowledge. Go to MyWonderfulWorld.org to learn more and get your free parent and teacher action kits. It's a wonderful world.
Back here in Miller Field, I'm John Hart. Got it by myself today, but we're holding the fort down, and we got a 6-1 lead. And Jackson Chanel is going to be coming in pitching for Dunn Wright Construction. Actually, Dwayne has started off. I'm sorry, DeMaris has started up, but he's done very, very well. I mean, he's pitched a lot of pitches, though, and usually for the minor league, usually about three innings is about usually their limit. Some of them last the whole time. But I remember even Matt Hart that when he was playing in the minors league, he would last about 3 innings, and then have to end up pulling him out. Great. Matt Hart played a great game last night against the Chamber, and ended up being he ended up winning. And they take Rotary takes sole possession, but Matt had a no-hitter, and now here comes the next pitch. This one's going to be inside, ball number 1. I had a no-hitter, and then he had a shutout last night until the 4th inning, until he had to come out because he ran out of pitches.
Just focus on the batter, bud. Don't worry about the runner.
So here comes Chanel, now takes the pitch, and that one's going to be a little inside. That'll be in there for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Eppes Supply's got a runner on first base. They got a 6-1 lead here in the top of the 3rd. Here comes down Chanel with the pitch, way high, ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes.
Just put your head in the ground and you can fight for it.
Now here comes the catcher coming out there and talk a little bit. Just kind of sit there if they can re-aim and get focused up. Sometimes changing the target a little bit, bringing that mitt up or down on the side sometimes helps out. You have to make a few adjustments. Here comes the 3-0 count now. And that's going to be in there for Steve Wright, number one. 3 balls and 1 strike. So if he can do 3 more like that, he'll be in pretty good shape. So let's see what Foster's going to do. In there is strike number 2, and that brings the count to full. 1 more strike, and that will retire the side. So now here comes the windup. Here comes now the pitch. Strike number 3, and he got him. Snell got him out. Wow. So as we go now to the bottom of the third, it is 6-1. Still holding 6-1 in favor of Eppes Supply over Dunn. We'll be right back right after this.
Best stuff ever.
Brought to you by Radio Shack.
I need a new phone, so I'll go to Radio Shack, take their advice, and buy a Sony Ericsson Z750 with AT&T service. It has a 2-megapixel camera, FM radio, and a web browser, so I can surf the internet. And then one day at a car dealership, I'll find the price of a car too high, but the salesman won't agree, and he'll throw me a challenge that he'll give me the car for free if I find it for cheaper, so I'll use the internet on my phone, find it for cheaper, and get it for free. And I'll owe it all to Radio Shack.
Don't just buy stuff.
Do stuff.
See your local Radio Shack dealer at Southside Electronics, Blackstone Square Shopping Center.
These are not your ordinary doctors. They are the accounting surgeons. Allow them to show you the personal attention it takes in order to receive every single deduction you deserve. The accounting surgeons and crew are here for you all year long, not just January to May. Whether you need tax preparation, payroll work, or bookkeeping services, call the accounting surgeons today. 434-538-0595. They offer very reasonable rates along with their year-round service with a smile. Located at 126 East Carolina Avenue in Crewe. The accounting surgeons are here for you. Phone 434-538-0595.
Back here at Miller Field, I'm John Hart, calling the play-by-play, calling the color commentary, doing the switching, controlling both cameras. We're kind of doing a little bit everything today. Welcome to Miller Field, everybody. It's 6-1 in favor of favor of Eppes Supply, and going up against Dunn Construction, and of course Eppes Supply leading 6-1 here. And as we go to the top of the fourth, I thought it was the bottom of the third, but got a little mixed up there. But that's okay. Well, Tyler Bourne is going to look like he's going to come in and pitch for Eppes Supply. I think JC is up. Here comes now the pitch from Tyler Bourne. Tyler Bourne, nice little ball player. He will start things off here at the top of the fourth. Here comes now the pitch. Way high, now being there for ball number 1. Well, they probably want to, may have ran out of innings for Tyler White. He picks the next game. Here comes the next pitch. And that one's going to be in there for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. And this is correct. Jackson will be coming up next for Dunn Construction. And here comes the windup and the pitch. Hard hit ball into right field. And the right fielder missing and it gets past it. KC will now hit on the second base, and they might have a chance to get him. They're going to try throwing it, and it's going to be safe. He's out. He said, Joe Jackson said, let me see the ball, and he is out of there. Wow. So that'll bring nice defensive play, no doubt about it. Just couldn't get the second in time. He tried to take that extra base. Here comes down the pitch. And Tyler White shoots that one down there for strike number 1. So no balls and 1 strike now. Here comes down the pitch from Tyler Borum. He shoots that one down there, but it's going to be high in there for ball one. So 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. And that one's going to be in there for strike number 2. So 1 ball and 1. Now it's actually 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. And Dunn is keeping the trying to keep the pressure on. That one drops in there, but not a little bit too high. It's in there for ball 1. So 2-2 now is the count. Here comes Tyler Bowen, winds up. Here comes the pitch. That's going to be way inside. That'll be in there for ball 3. And the count goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. We got 1 out here, and it's the top of the 4th. And Eppes Supply leading Dunn 6-1. Here comes the windup. Here comes the pitch. And this one's going to be a foul back, and the count's still going to remain full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Come here.
And following this game, of course, the Lions and the Chamber are going to go at it. Tyler now winds up with the pitch, and that's going to be in there, strike number 3, and that will strike him out. And just like that, let's see, Tyler, all right, this is Tyler White that's up. You got to be careful with this gentleman right here because he can knock the daylights out of the ball. Here comes Bowen, winds up, swing and a miss by Tyler White's in there for strike number 1. I've seen Tyler Bowen come up through the instructional league. Now playing here in the majors high, ball number 1 ball and 1 strike. It's interesting to see these kids kind of come up through the ranks and as they improve throughout the years. Here comes Boehm, now winds up, swing and a miss, strike number 2, and a nice thrown ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So this will be the 3rd and final out if he gets this one. Here comes down the pitch, and that will be foul back, and the count's going to remain 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nice day here at Miller Field here in Blackstone, Virginia. And I'm glad you all have joined us. Hard hit ball. That is going to go right into left center. And it gets past everybody. Here comes Tyler White. That's going to run around third. And he might be catching him. He overran second base. No, he doesn't. And now they're going to send him in. It's going to be close. They're going to throw it. He's safe. He is safe. And that's going to be an infield home run. Even though it was a couple of errors involved, Tyler nailed that one and was able to get around for a nice infield home run, and that brings up the 2nd run for Dunn Wright Construction. Well, a little bit of excitement here at Miller Field, and it's only and find themselves suddenly, Eppes Supply sees that lead gets cut down to only 4 runs. They have 2 outs, however. Here comes down Bourne with the pitch, and this one's going to be hit, and it's going to kind of go foul right in front of our white elephant, our broadcasting booth. And now being there for strike number 1. Well, Tyler White let that one go. This is Monte is up. No runners on base, though. Here comes the pitch. Hard hit ball, and this one is going to go all the way to the left fielder. And that's going to be in there for a single. It overthrows second base. And they're going to go and run the third. Here comes, they're going to try to, no, they're not going to try to throw him. And he gets a triple. And now another run could score for Dunn Wright Construction as he turns a single into a triple off a few errors. And they still got 2 outs. And that is going to bring up Hunter Morgan for Dunn Wright Construction. Oh, I'm sorry. No, take that back. I'm looking at the wrong thing here. I got so excited. Oh, I'm not so sure.
Owen,
yeah. So that looks like that's Owen that's up. Here comes down the pitch way high, ball number 1. And the thing is, Dunn Construction is starting to connect off of Tyler Bourne. Tyler Bourne pitching now for Eppes Supply with a 6-2 lead. Here comes down the pitch. And that's in there for Steve Wright, number 1. 1 ball and 1 strike now. Got a runner on third base. Here comes down the pitch. And that's going to be in there for ball number 2. As you can see, there's a runner on third base. Tyler now looks. Winds up. Here comes down the pitch. And a swing and a miss. I'll be in there for strike number 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Tyler would like to get out of this little episode here. Here comes down the pitch. Strike number 3, and that will strike out the third and final out. So as we go now to the bottom of the 4th right now, and Eppes Supply is going to get up to get the hit again. It is right now 6-2. We'll be right back right after this.
These are not your ordinary doctors. They are the accounting surgeons. Allow them